All right. Looks like we are live. And I could have sworn I just silenced that, and I silenced the media and not the sound. So apologies. Off to a good start. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful weekend. I've got my UV stuff as usual set up on the other screen. So you guys see stuff moving around, that's UV wise, that's where I'm doing it. All right. I think in this room I want to bring this over. So one thing that I'm doing today is kind of focusing on this area underneath here. Whoop, sorry, I'm too low. Actually too high. This area. Which is mostly done. But it's going to need a lighting pass, so I have this little area started. But I'm going to start building up more lighting groups and kind of just adding some lights. It is rather dark. I want to keep it dark in some areas, but it's like punishingly dark the entire way through. So I do want to add a little bit of additional navigation. And I still really do need to do a cleanup pass down in the Elite Tombs. So I might get down there and finish that up after we finish this. So, or if we finish this, should be a better way of saying that. Let's merge these. And these. All right. And why is it? Hold on. There we go. Apparently I missed a vertice doing that merge. Okay. But before this weekend, this room was pretty much just 2 ramps, and then where these edges are were just walls that went straight up to a flat ceiling. So just kind of giving it a little bit more going on. Also putting some space so we can have some mobs. Ooh, this guy is floating. Gonna get Anguish vibes if we have floating skeleton just randomly laying around in the environment. I have a feeling this is too. Oops. Let's see, this needs to... You know what? easier fix. I have the room to do it. Might as well. Delete those. Stupid. I hate when Unity does this. It locks on the little eyeball icon on your mouse. It drives me crazy when it does that. Oh, and now it's back. I don't understand what actually fixes it and breaks it. Oh, thinks UVs are all screwy. I've noticed if you just snap the UVs to the grid, or you snap the mesh to the grid, it fixes the UVs, even though it's already snapped to the grid. One of those weird, kind of quirky Pro Builder things. But for the most part, I stay to the grid. So if I use the 1/25th grid, or the 0.125 grid, it tends to work out all right. And and now we can just bridge all these pieces back together. And actually, I'm going to leave that edge there just in case I decide to do something with this later. Cool. All right. Let's bring back the materials. Kind of wanting to put one of the braziers in here. I'm just trying to think, do I want it? It should probably be better. Let's do that again. We'll bring this back. And then it'll go right here. Do the same thing over here. And let's just hit this whole area. So yeah, you can see how these are broken, snap, and then it snaps the UVs. Even though I have the UVs set to world space, and they're literally not moving. Okay, so the reason I think I'm going to leave them on this side, or no, on this side, is because the light will spill into the space a little bit more. Oops. Second, I did this wrong. There we go. Cool. I don't know if I want to put... Actually, I'm going to do it. One, two, three. One. And... Come on. Cool. And let's grab some of these. Oh, and I don't have a name for this room. So I need to come up with a name for this room. And this one, actually, you know what? Let's delete that one, and we will play with this one's light first. Let's increase its range. And then bring up the intensity. Too much. Hey Chaz, how's it going? Oops, I'm duplicating the light and not the prefab. I wanted to hit prefab, but actually what I should do before I start duplicating is find these two. And create an empty parent. Rename this light group. And we'll move it up into our lights. Great, you. Been redoing my home office, currently painting the ceiling. Nice. I'm doing pretty well. I cannot complain. And I think, yep, it would help if I make these not floating. How, besides painting the ceiling, how's the rest of the upgrade going? Hopefully smoothly. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's not bad. And we'll duplicate these ones. I'm going to put them over in this corner. I think. Darme625. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the oh my god, if I could speak. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Pretty good. New furniture coming, new lights, upgrading the whole thing. Oh, nice. That's awesome. It's always fun upgrading everything. Hey Nick, how's it going? Alright, so these lights have shadows enabled, are going to have shadows enabled, but for performance for the team in the editor, I have been, for the most part, shutting these off in the editor. Which usually cuts down on the flickering. I don't know why it's still flickering. What's going on? Hold it a second. Why do these have... Hold it. Something happened to this prefab. No. Okay, so I must have accidentally duplicated the... Oh boy. I'm gonna have to go through and clean all those up. I will probably do that off stream. We'll see how bad it is in a second. There we go. These ones probably have it. Oh, okay. That was just, I just did it then. Because these are the ones I duplicated off of. Alright, good. I was like, oh no. If I duplicate, that happened a long time ago and I'm just noticing it now. Oh, all of the ones I'd have to go through and remove the extra point lights. There we go. Make sure I got all of, oops, I missed that one too. 9. Sorry I wasn't around earlier. Forgot you wanted to chat about Wyrmsbane. Oh, don't worry about it. I haven't touched that area yet. I've been working on that other, you know, this room that I was mentioning. So as opposed to it just having the one ramp that kind of goes down into this little hallway down here, it's now got a little room off to the side. We can tuck a couple mobs in. Probably tuck a couple mobs over there. And then I just finished this little room as well. But we can always chat later on exactly what you wanted to do over here. Because we definitely have the room to expand more. I'd probably say doing it this way. Or we could expand this way and then just link this stuff up over there as well. Hey Sakosh, how's it going? Wish it was easy in real life as the editor. Yeah, no, I get that too. The process takes a, not that this process doesn't take long, but you can iterate a lot faster by just slapping new materials and changing colors really fast. Where it takes a little bit to paint a wall, let it dry, and then see if it needs another coat, and then see if you like it. I think real life has less bugs though. Definitely less bugs. Well, what kind of bugs? As I say, I'm like, depends on what type of bugs we're talking about, because I've seen some places with lots of bugs. Ugh. Just reminded me of the time when, like right after college, actually, my grandmother had passed away, like my last year of college, just before. And then, me and my ex and my oldest son, lived in her house, while my parents and my aunts and uncles were trying to like figure out what they wanted to do, fix up the house, sell it, whatever. And we just stayed there so that there was someone living in the house. And we'd been living there for a couple months, and we did an estate sale, and my aunt brought her dog over and put it in the basement during the sale. And we had cats that we were keeping in the basement because the one peed and we didn't want him peeing on the stuff upstairs. Anyways, it ended up with the worst flea infestation I've ever seen. It was horrible. I went down to the family room, which is like, it was a split level house, so it was the level that like the basement split into, I guess. And oh my god, I was walking down there to play it was either my Sega or my PlayStation, whatever. It had been down there for years. And walked down there, and my legs, I felt like weird, like bite itchy things. I looked down and my legs were black they just had so many fleas on them. And I instantly took my oldest son, who was an infant at the time, and just like straight up to the ceiling, and then like screamed for my ex, like, take him, and then I went outside, like hosed myself off. But oh, it was so bad. And I had to bomb, like flea bomb that house probably 3 or 4 times before it finally got under control. Oh, it was terrible. The worst, I remember having to lay down on the ground in the basement where the infestation really was. And we think it was because there was a mice population that had been living in the basement for years, also, which is another reason we had the cats down there, to get rid of it. But, oh my God. I had to lay down. I put a painter suit on, duct taped all the, like, crevices between my shoes and my body, so like nothing was going to crawl in, and I had to lay down and like turn off the pilot light, and as I laid down, I could hear the clicks of the fleas jumping across the floor to get to me. It was awful nightmare fuel. Fleas, normally I don't like them, obviously, but they don't make my skin crawl. But oh God, ugh, that was absolutely horrifying. And I've grown up with cats and stuff most of my life, so, you know, a flea here and there is nothing that, like, freaks me out too bad. You just get a flea collar, a flea bath, and, you know, everything's fine. That was not the case. That was not the case. Alright, so this one needs to go up into light group. I need a name for this room, so if anybody wants to throw out ideas for a name for this lighting group, I'm all ears. If not, I'll just come up with something random. But is there a room to expand by Dario? The room with the bridge. Oh, is that where you want it? I thought we were talking about the ossuary. We're talking over here with Dario. There isn't a room per se, but we could push his room back easily enough. So, you know, I could easily open this into a hallway and then expand into there a little bit. You know, I could expand that, maybe make it like a T. There's enough room to play around with before I run into the caverns. Like his room is really small. I was imagining that it could open up into a series of rooms, or a bigger room with more space, so that the camp has more mobs to support instead of dipping back into Gurg room or down to Fiona. Yeah, no, that's totally possible. If we want more mob support specifically in this area and have this separate from this as a camp, that's totally fine. I can easily expand this into a couple more rooms. I could even potentially do a room that kind of links over here, so this just ends up being more of like its own wing. When I initially was building it, I envisioned like setting up camp here and pulling here and here. So you'd pull, and then hopefully, you know, by the time you're done pulling here, you'd have that restart or repopping. But if we want this to essentially be, you know, its own camp, and I know a lot of the time we've actually killed, when I've been doing it, we've killed here. So if we want this and like this tomb area to effectively be the stair camp, I could expand this out so that it has more rooms easily enough. Glad you made it though. Yeah, so am I. That was terrible. Freaking bugs. Double ramp room. Actually, that's not a bad idea there, Nick. Flea story, flea story room. People looking, or people trying to emulate the game 10 years from now, looking at the file names are like, what? Flea story room. Double ramp room does probably work. Yeah, I was thinking a series of rooms or a large room to make the whole expansive camp out of it. Never mind, you read it. Like the connection to that room. Dario's room could have... hold on. I like the connection to that room. Dario's room could be where it opens into that area. Hold on. Let me go back. Which area specifically? Are you talking about the new area? Hold on. I'm confusing myself. Reading comprehension does not work well with me sometimes. So the new area, when you say new area, Nick, are you talking about the area that I'm currently working in, or are you talking about this new area? Oh yeah. Okay, all right. I'm overly confusing myself for no reason then. Yeah, so his current room I could see easily extending. I don't know if I would extend the room itself. I kind of like the theme that I was going with here, which was just these tight little estuary rooms. So I might consider raising the height of this room just visually, and then making this a doorway, and then kind of fleshing out those individual spaces again, something like that. And it shouldn't be too difficult because a lot of these like the edge loops I need are already set up. Elevation change will be annoying at times, but it should be fine. Let's see. Do you guys build mob camps based on mob per minute or something else? Hold on, let me make sure Nick didn't answer something. First time actually seeing Wyrmsbane, I think. Dungeon looks sick as fuck. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this was a fun one to put together, and obviously it's still being built out. It was originally intended to be much smaller than it is. It's definitely grown. Which I don't think is a bad thing. And there's more themes and stuff that'll be eventually in it. But the initial part was based off of a write-up that Ham did that had just general descriptions of some features and some rooms and stuff like that. But, you know, it wasn't much beyond, there's a chapel with a statue to a certain deity. That there was an ossuary, that there was an entrance, and that there was a tomb down here, and that there was a crossroad, like, room. So there was some description there, but, like, the overall flow of it and stuff like that wasn't really defined. But it was, like, the second I read it, it was one of those, like, it just instantly got my creative juices flowing. I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna knock this out. So I think I knocked out the initial geo of it in like 8 to 10 hours of just like listening to music and drinking a glass of wine. So turned out pretty good. And then we've just been making small iterative changes and stuff like that. As like, you know, I just did this one not too long ago, to help with a pathing issue where mobs down here were spawning the second you walked out on, or not spawning, but like aggroing you. So I just used these to break up line of sight. So just little tiny things like that. And then, yeah, like the mob density question. As we've kind of built out the zone and changed abilities and changed you know, like the level ranges on things. You know, we've kind of added rooms to areas, so oh, wrong direction. Over here, like this room, these spaces, and this kind of L-shape area were all added so that this area, if you're camping here, you have mobs to pull. So just kind of expanding spots where we feel like there's the mob density's too low, and we just don't, you know, we just need more space to put more mobs. Dario's room would open up to a new area. We're talking about, yeah. Just more of the same kind of thing with the skulls on the wall. Yeah, exactly. No, hold on. No, that would be like an opening to a series of tight rooms. You don't have to raise that even. Well, no, the reason I mentioned raising it is just a visual thing. So like if this is the doorway, and we're doing a doorway through here, I think it would just be nice to have at least another row of the skulls on top, just to kind of like balance out the verticality of it. Might not be necessary, but I think I might try it. Honestly, I might just do it like keep this why is this being weird? Keep that lip there, raise this up, and then just bring this type of thing up into that smaller area up there, something like that. Although I need to realign some of these edge loops before I do all that. But yeah, no, that's easy enough to do. It just take a little bit of time to kind of figure out what I want to do with it. Let's see. Nick says, we built areas first and foremost with interesting POIs. But if an area feels like it's small, we expand. Yeah, that's essentially a better, more articulate way of saying what I was doing. There's no formula of mobs per minute or anything like that. Just play with it until it feels right. Yeah, it's looking great. Oh my god, I'm gonna leaving. I don't want spoilers. Continue doing God's work, please. There you go. Will do. This dungeon came together really fast. The initial version was great too. A lot of it's there. Yeah, it really. If you're looking at specifically the more tomb related area and not the cavern area, the majority of the geo came together in, like I said, that 8 to 10 hour session, and then the small tweaks and stuff, you know, if added up, it's probably a couple days worth of work at this point. But more of it's been like going through with lighting passes and fixing little stuff here and there. But yeah, I mean, the interior zones like this are super easy to make in terms of like how fast they can come together. Depending on what we want to do stylistically, yeah, you might have to add some more stuff. Like, you know, if I'm doing a bunch of the little like floor bits and stuff like that around places, and you know, decorating with spider webs and stuff like that, which was, you know, more of a test. It's only been done in the entrance area and this little area over here, and oh yeah, and the chapel. So it you know, the spider webs need to be pulled throughout the entire the entirety of the zone at some point, but those take a little bit longer to place by hand. Yeah, the initial population came together real quick too. I mean, we had the zone up and running like in a weekend. Those types of things I think will come together really fast for us. The trick will be, you know, playing through it, finding out what works, finding out what doesn't work, adding more rooms and stuff to areas that just need more mob density. And yeah, going, you know, iterating on those. Outdoor zones for the most part will be pretty quick too. Cities take a while, especially on the size of Night Harbor. And YouTube. Yes, I'm still doing my thing. Okay. All right. What was I doing? Lighting. Okay. Did I move this into my... Sorry, as I talk, as I yawn. And now everyone watching is yawning. You're welcome. Okay. Double ramp. Yeah, bud? What's up? Oh, I can't hear you. What? What's that? You need a Steam password, what? Hold on. Sorry, guys. What's going on?
I just need the parental control.
The parental control for Steam?
Yes.
Hold on. Sorry about this, guys. Give you your code. There you go. Okay, I am back. So I was confused what he was asking there for a second. Duplicate. Compared to the dungeons in plans, how does this one compare by size and complexity? Like I said, this was initially intended to be a small... whoa! Keith, thank you for gifting Nick a sub. How are you doing today? Chaz, to answer your... and very much appreciated, Keith. And then Chaz, to answer your question... this was initially intended to be a very small zone. Again, going back to here, Ham's write-up had the entrance with the spike trap. Basically, the entrance was saying that there was like a supply area type of a situation. Well, I don't think it actually specifically called for that. I think I added that, but the lore, without giving it away, it made sense. Oh, sorry, Midnight Haze. I just noticed that you followed, and I did not hear the chime for that. Apologies, but thank you, and welcome to the stream. But anyways, so yeah, the you know, it talked about the upper area. Didn't really say much about it. But it kind of mentioned like what type of things you'd be fighting in it. So zombies, essentially, and skeletons. And then mentioned the chapel. And it had some like lore and stuff for named and potential ideas for items and stuff like that. Talked about this room. Talked about the ossuary. And then talked about the elite tomb area, and then specifically mentioned like Fiona's room and this mural, which right now is just a placeholder image. There's a whole thing that needs to be here eventually. But But that was basically it. That was the zone. Obviously, you know, we expanded the zone over here, added more mob density by adding a second level. Also, just adding the second level just looks way cooler in my opinion. There's just more verticality to it. The ceilings looks a little bit cooler and stuff. And then I kind of just went crazy and added, you know, more wings off to the side just to give more areas for the higher level area of here. And then eventually the 2 wings I wanted to join. I had these 2 rooms off to the side and was like, I'm just going to connect them. So that's where this area that I'm currently working on the lighting came from. I just felt like there could be another path through to navigate to get back and forth between the areas as opposed to going up here. That maybe is a little bit, you know, more dangerous. But yeah, that's how this area started. And then yeah, this whole area over here is eventually going to be caverns. Thematically, I don't think we've really locked in on what is going to be going on here. That's why it's still super bare bones. I haven't even really messed with the textures all that much. I just slapped cavern textures on it. You can see like weird breaks and stuff like that in the textures. But once we have like a thematic idea of like what these camps are going to be, like I'll go through and do a better pass on like, you know, is this pit, you know, some sort of sentient life, you know, that throws their prisoners into the pit or catches the prisoners in the pit or something like that. We do want a little bit of a deep theme starting, so where is it? I started adding a little bit of the deep dunes mushrooms as you get closer to the deep dune zone line, which is right here. And I might put a couple more further out, but you know, it'll be more so in this area, so you kind of have an idea that you're getting into a deep zone. And then lastly, there's some sewer parts over here. They haven't been hooked up yet. The reason being is I want to figure out what the sewer that you're actually going to connect from, like what that actually is going to look like. But this is actually going to be underneath Night Harbor. We'll also have a zone into here. So you can zone in from Night Harbor up here, or you can take a more dangerous route through here. So some of the stuff still up in or to be determined for this zone. This zone I would again initially was supposed to be a small zone. I would probably call this a medium size zone at this point. We've talked about potentially expanding over into this area as well, and then I would say we're getting towards a larger dungeon. But there will be larger dungeons for sure. The next ones that we'll probably get to are going to be Fallen Pass and Fallen Watch. Which one's more of an outdoor like an outdoor... I don't know if dungeon's the right word, but I'll call it a dungeon. And it will probably have some interplay with Fallen Pass. Or Fallen Pass and Fallen Watch will have like zone lines into each other in various areas and stuff like that. So that's gonna be a fun one, I think. I'm looking forward to it for sure. And then we had a larger zone planned, which I think it's still technically planned. But some of it is being repurposed into a new zone that we'll be getting to before that zone. So there'll be some more some of the stuff that was going to go into the one will be used in this new one. Oops. This one. Oh, and Keith resubscribed. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it. There he is. Let's say, I was starting to think you did a drive-by sub-gifting. How are you doing tonight? Okay. It's looking pretty good. And then I'm just going to take these guys right here. Move them into the corners. I want them, oops, like, why is this moving so much? Actually, I don't need that one anymore. Not bad. Finishing up Empire of Imagination book on D&D. How about you? Doing pretty good. That actually sounds like an interesting book. Is it about like Gary Gygax? And coming up with the idea of oh my god, I must send Monsters and Memories. I'm like, my brain is not it's not all there today apparently. But D&D, not Eminem. Yeah, his life, company turmoil behind it all. That definitely sounds interesting. I might have to check that out. The library sometime. And the reason I'm moving this is just visually, you can't really read what's going on here, and not that there aren't areas in Wyrmsbane that are not immediately readable, and that is by design. But the larger rooms, I tend to try to make a little bit easier to read. So moving the slide over here, you know, silhouettes that corner, so it just makes it easier to see and kind of understand what the room is and where you're going and all that fun stuff. I think these are a little... yeah, bring these in just a bit. And really, I should turn on the shadows for these so I can kind of get an idea. Because this area right here is going to be much darker when it's actually turned on. So I may need a fill light in this room. So we'll leave that there. We're going to hit save real quick, and I'm going to check this out because there's a couple things that I did earlier today too that I haven't had a chance to run around. And look at. So I think I fixed the issue, Nick, if you're still here. Oh, yeah, Nick is still here. I think I fixed the issue. We just got to check and see if the characters snag on that. Double check that I don't have a... Oh, we're good. They don't snag on the lip of that. Whatchamacallit. Hold it, what? Why isn't this working? I was going to show that off too. Let me... try reloading. Repop? Let me double check. I had the spike trap animating. I don't know if somebody has gone through and set... Nope, apparently not. Oops. Look around in the database real quick. Apologies, doing this off screen. Trap is still there. I see the state was deleted, but it wasn't complete, so I don't think that's an issue. Oh, you know what? Hold on. That was in the volume. No, that's still there. That's still the same. It just doesn't do anything, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it does anything. Okay. Let me try one thing real quick. Let me log out real quick and see if it comes back if I... YouTube, what is going on? My bitrate still says it's good, but my YouTube is being weird. Am I like breaking up or anything, guys? I feel like my internet is being weird all of a sudden. Well, that stinks. I don't know why it broke. Oh well. We'll come back later and see if it works. I didn't change. Nick, did you try doing anything with the let me try to aggro off. And let's fly. And we'll just go right through this wall because it's right below us. I don't know. Nick, did you try playing around with the spike trap volume or anything like that? Oh, the spike trap isn't spawning. Um, nope. I wonder why it is broken. And why is my YouTube being so weird? What is going on? It still says I'm in the green. All right, let me I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna close YouTube. I'm gonna reopen it. And Monsters and Memories playlist. I don't know why it just muted itself. There we go. All right. Hopefully the stream's back. Although that won't help the spikes not showing up. This room needs to get some lighting fixes. All right. So yeah, let me turn off my lantern. I like running around in these without the lantern while I'm lighting them just so I can see what's going on. Yeah, this is too bright and needs probably a little bit more range and a little bit softer of a fall off. And I need to move it back down. I moved it up too high. But this is really dark. That's not too bad. Nah, that might need a slight fill. Maybe. These need to get toned down, these side ones. They're in such a small area that they're blowing out. Yeah, and then a small just fill light, just to soften these shadows. Probably one up here too. All right. Let's work on this room. All right, we'll start in here. This is the room that needs more TLC. This one. And these fill groups aren't going to get added to the same lighting group. Because they don't need to get toggled off. And the way that the lighting system seems to work, again, I didn't write the script. Because you probably wouldn't want me writing the script. If it was a blueprint, it'd be one thing. But it seems to enable the shadows. So if I put a fill light, which this is intended to be, in there, it will suddenly have shadows, which generally you don't want fill lights with shadows. And we will arrange in a little bit on this one. I'm just using this to kind of bring some of this light over, but I don't want it to be as bright as it is over here, since this is where these lights are. This one. I want it to affect more, so I'll increase the range, which is nice because it's going to hit these edges now. It'll give a little bit more of a pop than if it was like that. So you just need to get a nice little, you should get a nice little highlight right there. Yep. 50. I'm trying to get better at slouching because I've been so bad at slouching lately. I need to like not slouch, but I need to make like a command that you guys can yell at me whenever I slouch. Oop, that was not what I wanted to grab. I did it again. I duplicated the light and not the prefab. And take our soft light. Actually, I really should rename these from flickering to fill. That's better. All right, so this up. I'm going to bring this one up because this one, you know what? These aren't centered in the room either. That's closer. Trying to be more cognizant as when I'm doing these rougher lighting passes. I mean, this is a little bit more than a rough one. If it was a rough one, I would literally throw these in and I'd be done with the stream in like 20 seconds. This I'm trying to make it look a little nicer. It's a little hard to judge how much this is affecting it because I don't have these with the shadows enabled anymore. It's the one annoying thing, like you turn off the shadows and get better performance in the editor. But then if you come in and decide to do something later that requires you to see the shadows you're working with, you're out of luck. Okay, and then these ones I needed to tone down. So this one and this one. Not terrible. Alright, you know what? I almost forgot, though, to turn these back off. There we go. And... there's a little light in there. Good. Let's grab these ones. Oops. Hold on. Why am I... blue light? Blue light. What the heck? I got too many things open. There we go. That one needs to be open. That one needs to be open. So blue light, blue light, blue light. There we go. Okay. So now that we have all that, these ones are not in that group currently. Good. This is eventually, this lights is going to turn into fill lights eventually. We need to create a new light triggers. And we'll just grab the blue hall since it's right next door. And we'll duplicate it. And we'll rename it. Double ramp room. And we'll delete the other two. We only need one to start with. And I'll turn off this so I can actually see what's going on. Yes, if anybody was watching my streams last week, essentially all I need to do is kind of make a shell around all the area that I need to see this. But I also am going to attempt to not have it doing stuff like that, where it's poking into areas that it doesn't need to if I can help it. Just better optimize everything. Okay, this isn't going to work quite like I wanted it to, so I'm just going to do this in a couple different rooms. Okay, so this one, I am going to have it penetrate into this hall. Basically, when we overlap with that hall, it will show up. Duplicate it. That's good. I think there's a little area over here that's, yeah, it's still out of it. Right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this second one. And we'll use this over here. That way, when you round this corner, it'll already be spawned. Or not spawned, enabled. It's always there. It's just turning it on and off. And if need be, actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it anyways. I'll scale it up. There we go. Cool. So that shouldn't have any weird popping in. This one is already taken care of. Oops. And then let's duplicate this one. And I believe down here I've got a couple spots where I need to fix. Let's see. Okay, so basically it's this part of here. So as long as that is good, technically that should be fine, but I want to extend it a little bit into this area because I have a feeling, yeah, we don't want to see that popping. So that should be fine. Okay, let's save this. And, you know, while I'm in here, it doesn't take long to bake. So much nicer how quickly the baking process, how much faster it is when it's a small dungeon compared to a gigantic freaking city. Because that took like half a second, where if I were to be if you guys were to sit here and watch me bake Night Harbor, it would be at least 5 minutes of waiting. More than likely, probably more. Yeah, rip. I have a feeling streaming would increase the time. I'll put it this way: when we switched back to this system, it was taking so long. I thought it wasn't doing anything. I'm like, oh, it's just sitting there. And I eventually just walked away and came back and saw it starting to move. Okay. Cool. I may adjust the lighting a little bit so there's a teeny spill of the light into here, but I'm not getting any major popping, which is what I was worried, which is not what I wasn't actually worried, but that's what I'm checking on right now, is making sure there's no like those reveals where the light should be where it is. I shouldn't be seeing anything funky going on before or after that. I also need to run around a couple spots here. So there's this popping right here. I need to remove that from the light calling group, or the shadow calling group. Because essentially, at least the way the script is right now, again, I don't know C# enough to fix stuff. But it's off screen, so the engine is like, oh, I don't need to call that. But that shadow is obviously very important right there. So I may have to remove a couple spots from that group. Yeah, it's doing it there too. I honestly, I should probably do it with most of these lights. But that problem in the chapel slash collusion. Actually, probably should turn off aggro. Where am I? Okay. And down here. So if you guys watched my stream last week, make sure I'm not in a wall. Okay, we're good. Where I was having weird popping issues with the lighting here, where you'd walk over here and then all of a sudden it gets super bright. Well, that's because these were in the light call or the shadow calling group, and it was calling the second I went through here. The script didn't think I needed shadows anymore, so it turned off the shadows, which those lights were then able to cast through the wall. So, couple spots throughout here that also had that issue. Right here, where the green light would all of a sudden show up, is because the green light up here was turning on, so it was popping in because I walked into the area that was supposed to spawn, but it was culling the shadow because it was around a corner. But the reason it has the shadow is because it's around the corner, and I don't want it to go through the corner. So that's a little bit of a view into what I've been doing throughout these areas, is having to go through and kind of figuring out which ones are going to be problematic. So you can see it does it right here. And it does it one at a time because this one stays on my screen longer. So you can see this doesn't have a light. Now this one doesn't. And it's purely based on the screen space. It appears to be. So I'll have to turn those ones off. Honestly, I probably just turn all of these ones off because I'm gonna get weird, weird shadow popping all over the place otherwise. Let's see if these cause any. And we'll go check down here real quick before we move. Is that? Oh, those are floating. Helps when you have light in the area to catch things like that. Oh, you know what? No, I added them to the group. They should pop. Oh, you know what? I didn't, so they're not going to pop. I forgot to do something very important. So here's my double ramp group. Double ramp group. I didn't add. I did switch the group. So that entire time I was toggling another group. Double ramp group. Now it'll actually work. But let's go through these and fix the light calling stuff. Definitely the braziers need it. Oh, it's in content. Double ramp room. It's up. And grab the lights. And for now, I'm going to leave the script on there in case we like do a pass on it and clean it up. Where it doesn't have issues like that. But we'll turn those off and we'll hit save and we'll go test it real quick. And then if these lights aren't causing issues, I won't do it to the torches. But if the torches are causing issues, I'll change that. But it was really difficult to tell with so many light sources in so many different areas what was and what wasn't causing popping shadows. Let's wait and see how long it takes me to get it. Oh, I heard it. There we go. Okay. Since we have a problem. Ooh, these don't have shadows now. That's not correct. Double check. Did I toggle off the wrong thing? Is the script not enabling the shadows now? Which would be weird. It had been before. Oh, you know what? If I take it off of it... Okay, never mind. That's right. I'm an idiot. I do have to have those toggled. Let me save. This should be more what I was expecting. There we go. Okay. So now walk through. These don't pop, and all of a sudden this gets brighter. Okay, it's much better. Okay, now that that's working, although these torches aren't flickering. Weird. Alright, I'm going to go back upstairs in a second and check something. Nope. Here. Oh, I forgot to add that fill light there. That looks good. That looks good. And now, to make sure they're actually... Oops. No, I don't want to do /flu. I want to do /fly. Cool. So you guys can see all of the lights that actually have shadows toggle off when you leave those volumes, and the fill lights stay. Which one makes our lives as GMs when we fly around outside of the geo just way easier to see where you are, because there is some light. Because for a bit there was zero light when you were flying around in the walls. And I actually do that a lot on our test server. I'll hop in and like fly around and like watch and observe and stuff like that, just to kind of get an idea of what's going on. All right, so let's fix those torches. I don't know why they broke. Oh shoot, I should have went upstairs. Oh well. I'll fix these ones and then I'll find the other ones that are broken. Hmm. All right, we'll fix one other thing and then we'll go and play with that, because that is not looking like it's broken. So this should probably be a spotlight. Yeah. Why is this not doing anything? Not doing too much. The intensity is way higher than I want it, but it's way, way easier to see what I'm doing with it jacked way up and then just dial it down. That doesn't look good. All right. I'm going to do a test on this one. And we'll try this again. I need to figure out what is causing these not to, like, it broke the flickering script. And I need to see if it's happening in other places in the zone, which is entirely possible. It broke everywhere, and I just didn't notice it until just now. Ooh, excuse me. Nope, they're not flickering. That one shouldn't be flickering because that was the one I copied it from. These ones are, but it's super subtle. I need to fix that. I might have made it too subtle. Those ones are working. I'll have to look at the difference in the frequencies and stuff on these versus the ones that are over there. These ones that just need to get dialed in because they are so I don't know if it's, I don't even know if you guys can see it on stream. It's very subtle right now. Too subtle. So let me fly back down to where I'm working. And we will attempt to fix these guys. Okay, so let's see. Oops. We have 15, 20, and 3. That min-max. You know what it is? It was the intensity of when I was dialing that up. So these were, I dialed those down because it was there was too much intensity on it. These ones are probably more what I want. 8 and 20. We'll set those to 8 and 20, and then we'll see. But I need to dial the other one a little bit too. grab all of these lights. It's an 8. Let's go back and touch this once again. Well, the min and max intensity on these are completely different. Oh, I have one selected I don't want. There we go. All right. I'll try this again with the point light. I'm gonna set to reduce the radius on it, I guess, because my worry is right here where you're starting to get shadow where you don't want it. But it also is caused. See, this is why I just. If I really want that shadow, I'm gonna have to do something different. But let me make sure I fix these. Before I do that. Oh man, it's getting late already. The stream's flying by. And I'm gonna have to definitely get going at 10. Tomorrow's first day back at work. Start of the new semester. So, I need to make sure I'm actually like getting up and moving and stuff. Oh, at a reasonable hour. By reasonable hour, meaning like when I normally, I guess, should be getting up. Like, I actually get up anyways with the kids. So, I just need to actually be like functional. There we go. That's working. Although, why does that look so funky? What is going on here? That's just an illusion. Okay, it's a harsh shadow because of this. So, I may need to play with the range and bring the range back up on that one a little bit because that is super harsh and looks really funky. Maybe I just need to play with this fill light. I mean, bring the fill light down and over a little bit so it can hit and fill, get a little bit of color in there. This room is too bright. We're losing our creepy shadows in the corner vibe. Okay, it's all the ones above that. Apparently I tucked one of them inside of a brazier. Alright. So let's grab all these lights. Shoot. Actually, let's grab these lens. This one and this one. And then my fill light, we're going to do a little bit more work. Not that much more work. This is one at a time. There's 2 different values. Currently. Set this to 300. Set this one to 500. There we go. And we'll move this. Soften it with the radius. And we'll bring this one down a little bit. There we go. And then this one's range. Increase it back up. And we'll just bring up the radius there. Maybe bring the light back a pinch. Try this one over here. Now, the nice thing about setting it up this way with the light groups, I'm glad I noticed that John did that in the lower section, is when I duplicate stuff, it just auto, because it's in the light group, it just automatically is part of that culling group, which is great. Get ready. It's happening. What's it? Oh, man. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to do this in the wrong window. I think you're the first one to reclaim that. Community rules. I wish they made this easier to do. Because I have to like type in the name and literally every Twitch profile that starts with Keith ends up showing up. What? Hold on. Why am I? Copy and paste it this way. Ah. Why isn't it showing up? Oh, it's because I have you listed as a moderator. Let me go in here and add you. Why did everything just lock up on me? Oh, Twitch. So, Keith, you get to choose. Do you want to keep your moderator privileges or do you want the VIP badge? Because it will only let me give you one. I can turn you off moderator and give you VIP, but I can't give you my. I don't understand why you can't be both. Hey John, how's it going? You keep the mod? There you go. You are a mod again. But look, you did get a message with the VIP. I don't understand why you can't be both. Like why is that so difficult, Twitch, to have both show up? Paid DLC. I wouldn't be surprised. Now to ban shot out of frustration. Watch out, John. Gotta earn that 25 K VIP badge. Apparently I need to put a disclaimer on it that if you are a moderator on the channel, you cannot earn it. Because that's apparently something that is there. Alright. That's pretty much it. I wanted to get a little bit further tonight, but I didn't. I was hoping to get these halls with a couple lights in them and over here. But this room was a little bit more complex with all the different lights in here, and then the couple lighting issues that we ran into. Let's save. Twitch being Twitch. My body is willing. Oh my. Alright, so let's hop back into the zone one more time. We'll check and see if the game's gonna let me show you guys the what's going on? Oh. I always do that. I'm like looking one direction and I have the lights off and the zone thing is just blank and I'm like, what? Why is there nothing in here? What did I do? But let's hop in. Hopefully I can show you guys the animation for the spike trap. It was working yesterday? Or no, the day before. I got it working the night before that, but it was working the day before. I didn't end up poking around in the editor yesterday. So something may have broken it between that Saturday and today. So fly, collision, turn off aggro, spell collision correctly this time. Little did you guys know, it's magical, starry sky inside Wyrmsbane. Okay. Are they there? No! It's because I'm trying to show you guys it on stream, that's why. Let me see if I can bring up the video. Wow, the video's grainy. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But anyways, it does animate. Let me see. I'll try. Did I do that in environment? I'm trying to remember where the heck I put it. God, we have so many channels. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was in What's New. Open a new window. Come on. There we go. So, it does animate. The prefab isn't loading. There's also holes that the spikes come out of now. But those are part of the prefab, so you can't see them. But it will once you... Eventually, when everything's hooked up, when you fall in there, the spikes will come out and get you. And it animates the little skull on the ground with it still, so it's still impaled. But eventually, I don't know if we'll... Right now, it's just one giant volume. I don't know if we'll use that... That volume definitely will trigger the spawns. I don't know if we want to get, like, super accurate with, like, if you're actually overlapping the spikes that it's going to cause the damage, or we're just, hey, you're in the spike trap, you are taking damage. But it is done. The skull's a really nice touch, well, thank you. Not gonna lie, because of the way Unity's try one more time. Because of the way Unity's animation like animator works, oh my god, it was so annoying to do it that way, because I had it as two separate meshes. If I had it as one mesh in two different parts, it would have been way easier. But oh, such a pain in the ass to get it to work. Because the head wasn't in its own space. It was in the space of the spike. So as the spike moves, the first 10 frames, the skull should be on the ground or just starting to rotate because it's getting poked by the tip of the spike. It's moving around, and I'm like, ah! So I had to, like, by hand move it. It was so annoying. So annoying. But every other trick that I tried was not working. But other than that, alright guys, I have to get ready for tomorrow's class, which should be fun, but I need to call it a stream. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me. My next stream is Wednesday, so I will see you guys then. If you are new to the stream and the project, we are making an indie MMO called Monsters and Memories. That is our website. Feel free to hop in there to learn more about the game. But essentially, it is a MMORPG, an indie MMORPG that is very influenced by the classic era of MMORPGs. So the kind of first generation. Think late 90s, early 2000s. EverQuest, Ultima Online, Dark Age of Camelot, that genre is heavily influenced the mechanics and the feel and the look of the game. Hold on one second, buddy. We're wrapping up. If you had any more questions, feel free to hop into the Discord and ask. All the developers are in there. We've got a community of over 1,800 people in there now. We're talking about all sorts of stuff. Whether it's about our game, other games in the genre, tabletop RPGs, all sorts of stuff. There's been a huge thing about the whole D&D thing that's been going on. But yeah, so feel free to hop in there. Even if you don't have any questions, you just want to hang out and chat. We always love having more people. If you'd like to stay up to date with the game, but you don't want to join Discord, feel free to join the mailing list to stay up to date. Also, we are planning on, by the end of this quarter, that's the goal, that we're going to have an open test week or weekend or something like that. So we can start trying to stress test the systems a little bit more. If you are interested, make sure you join both the Discord and the mailing list. So, pro tip there. These are other team members that stream. Check out their streams if you haven't already. Everybody on the team kind of streams their kind of section of the game. Granted, we have a lot of overlap. You know, sometimes I'll help out with shaders and things for like the characters. I did the ghost. And, oh, actually, I need to fix the ghost still, Nick. Sorry about that. But anyways, so yeah, we all kind of stream our own thing. Majority of the time doing environment art and level design. If you'd like to get caught up on past streams of mine or anybody else's, we have a YouTube channel, which I just linked. So great place to get caught up on all the past VODs, or at least all my past VODs, maybe not the original VODs from the first year when Sean was streaming. Or Sean, Nick, were you streaming in the first year, or was it just Sean? I think it was just Sean. Anyways, if you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, click the bell, all that fun stuff. It helps us out with the algorithm. The more engagement the algorithm gets, the more likely it is to suggest M&M content to people that are interested in indie MMOs and classic MMOs and things like that. So it's a big help. We really appreciate it. Takes a couple seconds. You guys rock that do it. We always try to read all the comments and things like that as well. So thank you. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to join in my live chats, there's a link below somewhere to my Twitch channel, Paytus the Ranger. Click the link, throw the channel a follow. You'll get a notice whenever I go live. Then feel free to hop in and chat. I always love chatting with new people. Also, for anybody who's not aware, my streaming times are Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There shouldn't be much of a change. Actually, there won't be much of a change in terms of my streaming schedule this semester. The only thing is I may occasionally, depending on the weather here, start a little later on Monday night, depending on if there's like a bunch of snow coming home from work or something like that, and getting dinner and stuff like that ready. But other than that, should be normal. Thank you to all my subscribers. You guys rock. Always appreciate the support. Yeah, that's it, guys. I will catch you guys Monday. Have a lovely Tuesday and Monday night. Later.